Today, I'm building the inside of a tavern. Check it out. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Crafting Brothers. My name is Greg, and last week my brother built the most incredible tavern. And every time I looked at it, it just gave me an instant image of what was inside that tavern. So I wanted to build the inside, and I know everyone's going to say that there's really no reason to build the inside of a tavern, but the last 3 campaigns I played literally started in a tavern. So I'm going to build the inside of a tavern. Watch me. I started out with a piece of medium weight chipboard in the shape of the tavern. You can see what I'm going for here. Now, I finally decided to give in and use my 3D printer, because these bits are so small they would be incredibly annoying for me to craft by hand. But I wanted to build something, so I decided to build the floor. Now, I grabbed some leftover dollar store foam and cut it into basic strips. After I peeled the paper off, I used my wood grain roller, which I also printed, to create the wood texture. After that, I cut them into small planks. I purposely did not measure any of these, so it would create somewhat of a chaotic pattern. I quickly realized it would be much easier to remove the paper from both sides of the foam. Otherwise, you'll have to pull off the paper from each individual plank. Ugh, annoying. Next, I grabbed some PVA glue and smeared it all over the chipboard and begun the process of laying down the planks. Now this is where having the uneven and unmeasured pieces of wood works really well. You can see it just come together as I go. Every once in a while I cut off the ends on the side, and I used those leftover pieces to fill in all of the gaps as I went. It took longer this way, and I suppose I could have just rolled out the entire floor and drawn in the plank lines, but I think this method looks the most realistic, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. Now, for the 3D pieces, I took them outside and hit them with some black spray primer. While those were drying, I used black Mod Podge to cover and seal the wood floor. Oh, I love it when my Mod Podge has a thin semi-dry layer on top. It reminds me of my mom's pudding in the fridge when I was little. After I painted it all up and let it dry, this happened. That's right, it bowed, which I thought was not supposed to happen when you're working with chipboard. But thanks to one of my favorite crafters, Wylock, I had a solution. Paint a layer of glue on the other side and let it dry. I had no idea if this was actually going to work, but lo and behold, it straightened up. Thank you, Wylock. So I used one of my favorite techniques for wood, which is to give it a layer of golden brown, and follow that up with a wash of burnt umber acrylic ink. This method really gets in all the cracks and crevices and just makes it look incredible. I absolutely love the way this floor came out. Now, as far as painting of all the furniture, I did not know that 3D printed pieces needed so much primer. I guess I learned the hard way. I found that most of it needed some sort of additional primer before the paint would stick. Or in some cases, I just kind of used 2 coats and called it a day. Once I was done with all the basic colors, I used gunmetal gray to highlight all of the metal parts. Okay, real quick, I am calling bullcrap on the scale of John's mugs and barrels. Look at this. This is John's mug and his barrel. And look at the bartender behind there holding his mug. Now this is my scale of mug and barrels, as demonstrated by this nice little undead skeleton that's carrying one of those barrels. So once again, John's scale, 28mm scale. But it's all good. His stuff does look amazing. Anyway, the fireplace, I painted the fire with a white primer first so I could bring out some of the colors. I painted the low burning wood with a red and then used yellow to add to the tips. The last thing I did was to repaint the metal black grate. Now, the final step was to hit everything made of wood with a strong tone wash to bring out some of the detail. And I also hit the fireplace and the stage with a dark tone to give it that worn out look. I'm really happy with the red stage. I think it's going to add some color to a very dreary scene. So there you have it. This build was actually incredibly easy, and I can't wait to use it in my next game. Enjoy! Thank you guys for watching. That was a lot of fun. I'm still not convinced that 3D printing is the way to go, but for these little tiny things, I think nothing beats it. It's really hard for me to craft these little fine things, so I think it's great. Please like and subscribe and share with all your friends, and we're really trying to grow the channel. So if you have any suggestions of things you want me to do, you want us to build, things you want me to do in the game, let me know in the comments below. And thank you again for watching. We'll see you next week with another cool video. Have a good one.